Hi, I'm Tovey, FWCF from Bedfordshire in England.
Hi, I'm Gavin Golby, AWCF from Warwickshire, England.
You know, the very essence of the mental game is this. The only reason an event matters is because we make it matter.
Welcome to the Mullins Farrier Podcast.
I had a soccer coach, and he always said, we are going to be the fittest team always out there. Because in the moment, you don't want to be worried about being tired. You want to be focused on the soccer game.
Right.
Which is what's going to translate for me, hopefully, in the CJF, is that I'm not worried about being tired. I can focus on the task at hand.
And granted, he was like, get your specimens made. 3 months before you take your exam, get all your AW specimens made. And it's good to have other people putting that pressure on you as well. Sometimes if it's a single journey, and you've not got mentors that are coaching you, helping you, you kind of rest a little bit.
If you're hearing this, you are currently on the non-subscriber feed. If you would like to hear this episode in its entirety, please subscribe using the link below. If you're a student, apprentice, or just find yourself in a situation where it isn't financially feasible to subscribe, please reach out to me on Facebook or through the website. The good folks at Out West Design and Fabrication are lending their support by helping us to cover your scholarship subscription. You can check out many of their incredible projects on their Facebook page. Out West Design and Fabrication, your choice for farrier rakes. Now here's a sample of this week's episode. Thank you for listening.
Most people that I know in this industry only want the best for the other people in the industry, which is a pretty cool thing.
You're both involved in a fairly educational project. I've seen a lot of your posts online and finally get to participate in one of the events. So how did this all come to be? It started in 2012 when I was asked to start doing some tutoring for BFBA. They were running an associate course. And Mark Watson asked me to do that. And I previously hadn't taken my associate successfully. 2 years after my diploma, I attempted my associate.
Wow.
Way too early, no preparation whatsoever. And I passed the practical and I didn't pass the theoretical part of it.
Okay.
I failed it. I thought, sorry, it's not for me. I don't want to do that. But then 2012, Mark Watson asked me to start tutoring practically on the course. And I thought, you know what, I'm a bit of a fraud. I haven't passed it myself. So I agreed to tutor, but I thought that's the kick up the backside that I needed to then take the exam. So I studied hard, took the exam, and then progressed on. People on the course started asking if we could do different sessions in between, because it was monthly for BFBA. So I started doing little fill-in specific courses for them just to complement the BFBA's course.
Right.
And then it just progressed from there. And then people started asking me to do different stuff other than shoemaking. And I thought, do you know what? There's such a wealth of talent everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be better people for that. So I got Sarah Logie involved in 2019 because I just thought she's so far, well, she's not that far away because like in America and Canada, but she's a long way for us.
She's a short jaunt.
Yeah. So I got Sarah involved. When we're over in Cincinnati, I asked her to start doing some online stuff to involve, because she's really good at the theory and her bookwork, like fantastic, as you know. So got Sarah involved and then got Gavin involved and just lots of different people that probably wouldn't put themselves forward, but it's quite nice to hide behind a bit of a logo, and it just pushes people to the forefront. And they're great tutors, and they wouldn't be doing it if somebody wasn't pushing them. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do. Push them, do more.
Kicking and screaming sometimes, maybe.
No, not at all.
Sometimes.
You weren't supposed to say that.
I think it's always nerve-wracking when you're putting yourself in front of people.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of times, people don't realise how talented they are, like Gavin and Andrew, and we've got so many people doing different things now that it's just small little tweaks here and there that they need to know. And a lot of times they just haven't got their basics nailed.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing is ultra scientific, is it, what we're doing? No. Basic stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Gavin, how did you get your start in all of this? What was your specialty that kind of brought you in?
I'm not sure what my specialty was as such. It probably had a good practical ground. Actually, listening to Jay there, my experience of the AW course that Mark Watson run, it was quite similar. I felt there was something that I needed to do my associate exam. Mark Watson was running the course, and then I'd actually, prior to that, been asked by Mark to tutor on that course. And again, a bit like Joe, I felt a bit of a fraud. I was teaching people on the course, but actually didn't have the qualification myself there. So bit the same. I was sort of, when I did the practical exam, then spent the next 18 months worried about what I was going to do the theory bit.
Like most of us.
It was a bit of something I didn't want to address necessarily head on, but then went and did it, set my mind to it, and off we went. And then got the qualification. Didn't feel I was like such a fraud then, perhaps. And then obviously Jay approached me and asked me to do some bits of pro tuition. And I don't think you need to be specialist. I don't think you show people what you know, don't you? There's no secret. You're not trying to hide anything. If you've got some knowledge, share it a bit.
But you need to be able to break it down, and that's the important thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I look for when we're bringing people on and to tutor. It's somebody that can analyse, break things down. There's lots of different techniques that you have to break down and develop that technique into a skill. So there's so many different techniques. It's just being able to break them down. Like one shoe has probably got about 7, 8 different techniques, isn't it?
Right.
So you just have to figure out what they're doing wrong and correct that technique and build it into their system again.
Yeah, and there are some people who are super talented, but are not great at explaining how
they can't explain it,
what they do.
Or they can't observe what somebody's doing wrong.
Yes.
And they'll say to them, "You've nearly got it right, go away and do it again like I showed you." Mm-hmm. When that's not progressing somebody.
Right.
Yeah. And I come from a coaching background, sports coaching background.
Oh, really?
So that's where I learned those types of skills, is to look at people individually and find out what they're doing wrong, really break it down to small bits, like it might be tongue position, it might be body position, or where you stood at the anvil, little things like that. But Gavin does it automatically, and so do a lot of people. They just don't realise they're doing it.
Yep.
I think also with shoeing and shoemaking that nobody expects you on day one to go out and shoe a horse or make a shoe, or you start off and it's building blocks, it's little steps.
Right.
So one little step you practice, then you leads on to the next step, and then leads on to the next step, and much the same with shoemaking. You make one shoe, but the skills that you learnt from building one shoe, you'll then put into another shoe, but you'll add a little bit, and then you'll go and try and master that, and then you'll make another shoe, and then you'll add a little bit, and ultimately, all you're trying to do is build a repertoire. Yeah. And then all these little tricks and moves and forging techniques that you've learned, eventually you'll see a shoe and you think, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. Or that's what it is.
Yeah, I've actually found that when I ask people that are competitors how they prepare, once the shoe list comes out, how they prepare for making those specific shoes, they all say the longer they've been in it, the less preparation it takes, because they already have sussed out those components. If they can break it down into them, it's not that hard to piece it all together again.
Yeah, we've both competed for years, so I suppose we naturally do that. And most people that tutor for us, they all do that as well. Yeah, just break it all down. So there's no point in practicing fuller, and if you can do that bit, just figure out the bit you can't do and work on that.
Right. Yeah, which is against human nature. Whatever we find difficult, you try to avoid it, right?
Steer
and
it,
stick to the easy stuff.
Do something easy.
Yeah. Hence the theory with the exams.
Yeah, and actually, that's a question I have for both of you. So you said you struggled on the first round. What did you do, or who helped you, or what techniques did you embrace in order to actually pass that?
And before I let you go, here's a bit of business wisdom imparted on you from Andrew DeVisser at Fletcher Forge and Tool. As I'm sure you've heard me say, I use a lot of Andrew's products every day. From his knife sharpening kit, to his knives, to his built for the long haul forge. You can find all these products and more at FletcherForgeandTool.com. And now here's Andrew.
Hi there, everyone. This is Andrew DeVisser from Fletcher Forge and Tool, here with your business tip of the day. Today, I want to talk about making a business plan. Every business needs a plan, even if it's 5 lines on the back of a napkin. First of all, you need to lay out your goals. There are a few questions you need to ask yourself about your business. Questions like these: what kind of horses do you want to shoe? How much money do you want to make? How far are you willing to drive? These and other questions are the goals that you are ultimately shooting towards in your business, and these goals are the essence of the business plan. Think about the way you are currently running your business. Are you moving toward your goals or away from them? Are you willing to make changes and even sacrifices to move toward those goals? If you do what you've always done, you will get what you've always got. I would encourage you to be willing to make changes and to think long-term about the direction of your business. That's all for today. Thank you for listening, everyone.
If you would like to hear this episode in its entirety, please subscribe using the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening.